guys, this is Comic Uno and Comic Frontline, and today I'm doing Comic Uno episode, and this is a show where I review all the comics I read this week in one show, and let's talk about it. We have 18 books to talk about, and going worst, had to move the chair next to me. Anyways, we're going worst pick of the week to best pick of the week. So let's start with number 18, which was worst pick of the week, and that was Marvel Zombies, issue 2. You know, this has kind of been lower on the list, and I'm disappointed because I've always wanted to learn more about Elsa Bloodstone, and she seems like a cool character, but this Marvel Zombies have not really been doing her justice. I could care less about the plot. That's the big thing. This whole issue is her walking, hunting, learning a bit about her background, but not really caring exactly where she is. I feel like it just feels really generic and kind of boring, honestly. I read it, I'm like, alright, well, what's kind of special about it? Like, why is she hunting? And I guess you get a little bit of a background story with her, which helps, like, oh, well, how has she grown as a character? Why does she care about the hunt? But why should the audience care about the hunt, you know? So yeah, I thought there could just be more story here. You know, I like the background story, I like the origin story, that's cool, but it just needs more meat, especially in the present time. Artwork is pretty good though, I like the artwork, but still just wasn't interested enough. I will obviously, pick up the rest of the series because it's almost done, but I've been disappointed with Marvel Zombies. I was looking forward to it and I was excited about it, but it's just been a disappointment. So Marvel Zombies issue 2 gets 2.5 stars, and that's number 18. Moving on to number 17, which is another disappointing series, We Are Robin issue 2. This issue, for me, I felt went a little bit down compared to the first issue. Now, the first issue I thought had a lot of potential, focuses on Duke's character and learning a bit more about him, and then I thought the second issue would focus on another character and we could learn about them, and this issue still focuses on Duke, and I'm like, alright, this is called We Are Robin, not Duke is Robin. I want to learn more about the other Robins, and they're just kind of like these two-dimensional characters that kind of speak sometimes in the book. We know nothing really about them besides Duke, and his story's okay. He's looking for his parents, okay. But nothing that has a huge hook to his story that he should be the main character. I think we should have a team book and see all these Robins be interesting. So yeah, this has just been a bit disappointing. The artwork is on the abstract side. It's not bad. It's not my particular taste of style of artwork. But I'm debating if I want to pick up more of the series. I definitely will pick up issue 4 because that's going to be like the Batgirl issue, so I'll pick that up. But I don't know if I want to pick up issue 3 and if I want to continue this series. Just there's not a big hook, and I have so many other titles I'm reading. It's kind of hard to keep holding on to this, and there really isn't any spark here for me. So We Are Robin issue 2 gets 2.5 stars, and we'll see if I pick up more of it. Alright, moving on to number 16, which is Teen Titans, issue 10. Yeah, Teen Titans, low again. You know, it's just not the Teen Titans I like. It's not the Teen Titans I've grown up with, and that's them being a team. This is supposed to be a team book, but it's literally them going against each other for Superboy, not knowing what to do with him, and then fighting this whole issue, and then having the boring story of Star Labs. And that's not what I want to read this series for, and there's no great character interaction. I would say my favorite part would be the Cassie and Connor interaction, because they have history before this, and then, you know, Khan trying to drown Cassie, but other than that, that's just such a small moment in the issue, and the rest of them is just fighting, and I'm just like, no, I don't want that with the Teen Titans. I want them to be a team for once, and we've had 40 issues of them fighting each other and not being friends. Let's see them as friends already, or, you know, at least working together or having some interesting character interaction. It's just not here for me. So I don't know, I might drop this series. It's hard to say that because I'm such a big Teen Titans fan. I want this to be good, and there has been better issues in this series, but still not my style of story. It's still not the Teen Titans I want, so I might be dropping this series. So Teen Titans issue 10 gets 2.5 stars. Alright, moving on to number 15, which is All New Hawkeye issue 4. This issue, it focuses more on the past which I'm not a fan of this watercolor. It's way too light, and I think that's why it's so low this week. It's just the watercolor. It focuses so much on that story of Clint's past, which is interesting, but still, I'm like, I'd rather see the present story. I like that a bit more than the past story. I think it's original the way they're kind of telling the present and the past on each page. I like that idea, but maybe they could have used a little bit more of the present story. Yeah, so I wasn't loving this issue as much. It felt a bit lackluster, and also it feels like they're stalling for something. Because of Secret Wars, they really can't tell the rest of their story, so it feels like they're stalling, and then they'll go into the next series with Lady Kate and the old Hawkeye. So yeah, I'm not totally impressed with this arc so far, even though I do feel like it's original, the way they're telling it. The artwork could be a little bit better, or at least the coloring could be a bit better for the past story, and maybe make a bit more connections with the past story. Like, I know they're trying to, but there could just be more connections. I personally like the present story more, but they focus on the past so much. So, All New Hawkeye issue 4 gets 3 stars, and that's number 15? So I think we're moving on to number 14. Yes, we are number 14, which is The Flash, issue 42. A little bit higher than it usually is. Usually it's below 3 stars, but I thought this was a bit of an improvement because we get to see that Barry's father might not be the best person, and he escapes jail, and Barry's learning that he might not be the best person. And then also you have the mix of Zoom coming in and being a villain, so it's definitely getting more interesting. I do think the dialogue could be a bit better. It's definitely crammed in every panel. There's just a lot going on, and I don't think it's necessary to have so much dialogue, so that's something I think has been a big negative for this book. And also the artwork is still kind of hard to get used to. I'm still not loving the style, but I do think it's better. This artist is better for this title than he was for Teen Titans. But yeah, you know, I thought this was a better issue. I like kind of the conflict going on. It was cool to see Iris, even though I'm still very confused if Iris knows if Barry's Flash or not because of how many time differences and time skips there's been in this series. So I'm still kind of confused. It seems like she knows from this issue. But yeah, it's a better issue, but still not blowing me away. I'll keep it because I like Flash and I want to see where it goes, but it's still not the best Flash series by any means. But it's getting a little bit better, like at least it's getting interesting. Before I'm just like, ugh, Flash. You know, in the last arc I did not like at all, but at least it's a bit more interesting. So The Flash issue 42 gets 3 stars. Alright, moving on to number 13, which is... Number 13 is Spider-Woman, issue 9. You know, I feel like this is a series that also is kind of at, you know, a stale point because they don't really, you know, they have this arc coming up after Secret Wars and they're kind of stalling to get to Secret Wars. But, you know, I like the funness of this issue. I like a lot of the different moments, some action moments, like in the beginning where Jessica's like, I kind of given up to have a secret identity because of the web, and then this is at the same time that her mail lady knows her. Is like, oh, here Jessica, she's in her costume, and like she knows that she's Spider-Woman. Also, another cool scene is the action scene in the end where Jessica is like hanging on chains. I thought that was really cool. Thought that was a cool action piece. And the story overall is cool. I like the ensemble of this villain trying to be a hero, and then Ben kind of going along the ride, and Jessica being kind of a hard ass to both of them. The thing I didn't like about this issue, though, why it's a bit lower, is the actual plot of them like finding this country guy who wants to kill her. I wasn't so interested in that. It honestly seemed a bit too similar to the last arc. So I want to see a better mystery, I guess. I just didn't care about the villain here, but I actually liked the team and the hero, which was important. And the artwork is good too. I enjoy the artwork. So it's an okay issue, and I do feel like they're stalling a bit, but there are some fun moments here that I think is worth picking up. So Spider-Woman issue 9 gets 3.5 stars. I think we're up to number 12. We are up to number 12, and that is Archie Vs Sharknado, issue 1. I will say this book is a bit on the expensive side, but there's a lot of pages, so I think it's worth the money. And it's fun. If you like Sharknado, it has all the funness of Sharknado, people getting eaten up alive, and you can get your favorite Archie characters eaten up alive, including Sabrina, Betty's father, and those are just a few. Don't want to spoil all of them. And that's fun. It was just a fun issue of, you know, Betty and Veronica, and did I say Betty's father? I meant Veronica's father. You know, Betty and Veronica teaming up and then saying, oh, girl power, yay, but hey, I still like Archie. It's like, I like Archie too. You know, of course, you still have that love triangle, and still, it's weird because I've been starting to get into Archie. It's still weird to see Archie as, like, the ladies' man, and he's, like, having all these girls hanging on him, which I don't personally like that much, but, I thought they did it in a fun way here. I thought that the whole Sharknado stuff, if you like the movie for what it is, I think you'll enjoy this. It's a fun story, and if you want to see Archie combined with Sharknado, this is the book for you. So 3.5, it was fun. And is it a must read? No, but if you like the franchise, pick it up. So I give it 3.5. Moving on to number 11. Yes, we're on number 11, which is Birthright, issue 9. This title is really cool. I do feel with this issue, there's a lot of mystic fighting, like they have to fight this mystical creature, which I didn't care as much, but there's an awesome cliffhanger we get to see here, where we get to see, I'm pretty sure her name's Abigail, but the mother of Mikey, she's starting to, you know, believe in this new Mikey, this grown-up Mikey in this mystic world, and then she backs herself out. It's like, oh, I can't, you know, this is all nonsense. This is not my son, you know, I can't believe in that. And then right at the doorstep is the story she was reading about her son and having this winged woman that, that Mikey really liked, and that's the same woman who's pregnant with Mikey's son/or daughter, the baby, and I'm really interested in that because the mom is so hesitant about this world and in this being her son, and once she learns, I feel like it would be a really cool family book, and seeing this family coming together, her trusting this, and I think she'll be more interested in trying to save Mikey and believing in Mikey now that we have this part of the story, now that she might have a grandchild. So yeah, really enjoyed that cliffhanger, and the artwork is really great too. And there's good brother moments between Mikey and his brother. Again, the only thing I didn't really like was the mystical portion of it, like the mystical monster. Of course I like the mystical portion. It's the monster I didn't really like, and I thought that took a lot of the issue out. It took a lot of time in the issue. So overall I give Birthright issue 9, 3.5 stars, and can't wait for that next issue, for that revelation with the mother. Alright, now we're moving on to number 10, which is Injustice Gods Among Us, issue 6, year 4. I thought this was a bit weaker than the later issue, or the earlier issues, and I always feel like around this time it gets a bit weaker because you get some more filler issues. And here I feel like they did a lot of the same thing of like, oh, well, Wonder Woman wants to be with Superman, but hey, let's fight, because the gods are kind of controlling Wonder Woman at the same time, saying, hey, you have to be with us, and then Wonder Woman is betraying the gods. But there are some other interesting stories of like Shazam being kidnapped from earlier and him gonna try to help Superman. The Lex Luthor story I love, where we get to see Lex kind of recreate the clone again, and he wants to recreate the clone to defeat Superman, but in a way that he actually really likes Superman. He was friends with Superman in this world, and I love that twist with Injustice. It's a very small portion of the issue, but I enjoyed that. Also, the artwork is really good. I really enjoy the action sequences, but I do feel like this issue is a bit on the repetitive side. A lot of things we've already seen with the relationship with Wonder Woman and Superman is kind of doing the same thing here. But still a lot of interesting moments. Like I said, there's still a lot of character moments that's worth reading, but it's a bit more repetitive. So, Injustice Gods Among Us, Year 4, Issue 6, gets 3.5 stars. That's number 10. Moving on to number 9, which is Star Wars Kanan, The Last Padawan, issue 4. I really enjoyed this issue. No, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, as you know, but I don't think you have to be to enjoy this series. It really just goes into Caleb's character overall, of him running away from situations, making a friend that he didn't know he could trust. It's really about trust, this whole series of who do you trust and who do you not. And then by the end, being betrayed again and being caught again. But yeah, it just digs into Caleb's character and, you know, this friendship he makes with this alien who we thought betrayed him but didn't. And the artwork is just beautiful for this series. That's something that also really gets me into the title. So I thought this was a very solid issue, and if you like character development, you like character moments, I think Greg Weisman does a great job with that here. So I give Kanan issue 4 4 stars. Very solid issue. Alright, moving on to number 8, which is Cyborg issue 1. You know, I'm not a huge Cyborg fan. I think that's why it's a bit lower, but this is a good issue. I like what they set up here. They set up, you know, Cyborg feeling invisible, even though he'd rather feel like a monster than invisible, and his father just cares that he's his project, not that he's his son. So now he just kind of wants to escape for a little while. His childhood friend that works there too, they're gonna go and just, you know, have a fun time. And then he finally meets somebody that recognizes him not as Cyborg, but as that superstar, the football superstar, and he's happy about that. Other story going on is that there's these random villains who want the technology, and I thought that was kind of generic. I didn't like the villains. Like, oh, of course, they want the technology. It's a Cyborg book. So the villains could have been a lot better here. I thought that was kind of random, but I like the other story. The actual story with Cyborg and the story with his father, and how he feels as a cyborg. I thought the inner monologue was very well done. So solid book. You know, it didn't make me a super fan of Cyborg, but I'm still interested to pick up more, and I thought it was a good book. So Cyborg issue 1 gets 4 stars. Alright, now we're moving on to number 7, which is Wonder Woman issue 42. A lot higher than it usually is, and I think this is the best Wonder Woman issue so far. I thought the artwork was an improvement here. Again, it's been hard for me to get used to it, but I think it's been improving every issue. And also, I just had fun with this, because Diana, you know, she goes out, dances for a little while. I like that idea, and then she meets up with this guy who is related to a god and didn't even believe in God. So we get a bit of his past, which I feel like he was kind of like annoying character, not in a bad way, but just because, like, oh, you're supposed to hate him, and you do hate him in this issue because of that. But I still want to, you know, I want to like him a bit more. I know he's a villain, I just want a likable quality for him, though. But, you know, that's always the best villain, too, is when they do have a likable quality, but you know you have to hate him. So, right now, I just hate him. I want to like him as a villain. I will say that's my only nitpick. And the rest of the issue, you know, we get to see Donna escape jail and her still feel pity, so she'll even go out of jail, who knows. But it's Wonder Woman giving her a pep talk and saying, you know, we forgive you just gotta forgive yourself now. So I'm excited to see Donna's progression, and it was a good issue, very, very solid issue, and I really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed, again, the kind of Diana having fun, not being Wonder Woman, and of course still balancing the story of her being the god of war, and I thought they did a good job with it. I thought they highlighted a lot of stuff about Diana's character in just one issue. The 3 stories, or the 3 plot lines going on here. So Wonder Woman issue 42 gets 4 stars. Moving on to number 6, another Wonder Woman issue, Deathstroke issue 8. I still feel like the Wonder Woman was thrown into this book just to be thrown into it, but the artwork is just so beautiful. It's so great, this artwork, and the action scenes were so well done, which is really what Deathstroke's all about, is the action scenes. And what I liked about it is that Deathstroke is so cocky that he believes he could defeat Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman knows that Deathstroke can't do it, but they're just fighting it, you know. It does seem in this issue, I'll say, like, oh, well, Deathstroke can actually defeat Wonder Woman? This doesn't make sense. But I think it's just because it's in his point of view that he's so cocky he believes he can. And in the issue, they even said, well, like, Deathstroke, you're not going to defeat Diana, so don't try. And then we get to see that he has a past with some of the Amazons, so it was a solid issue. I don't know if I'm totally interested in him trying to get this god and try to defeat him, but it was a good action issue, and it showcases the cockiness of Deathstroke, which I enjoyed. And the artwork, like I said, is beautiful for this series. So I actually thought this was one of the better issues for Deathstroke. Still want some more Rose and Jericho, but this is a solid issue. So Deathstroke issue 8 gets 4 stars. Alright, so now we are on top 5. What was number 5? It was Effigy, issue 7. I really enjoyed this issue, and when I opened it up, I'm like, wait, where's our main characters? And I didn't think I was going to like it, but it's actually the story about the author of Star Cops, and learning a bit more about him and how he was beaten up, and, you know, he just loved his imagination, and how he just became this corrupt guy because of Hollywood, which is really what Effigy is all about. The artwork is still, you know, thin line, but I think I've gotten used to it, and I like kind of the older style, and definitely the outfits they use for the different time periods I thought was cool, and the different hairstyles we get to see. So I think it worked really well for this issue, and a solid issue. Again, it just shows the corruption of Hollywood, the corruption of stardom, and how it didn't just influence our main character, who was the actor, but also influenced the writer and, you know, his journey in life. So Effigy issue 7 was a surprise hit for me this week. I enjoyed this issue. So Effigy issue 7 gets 4 stars, and that's number 5. Moving on to number 4, which is Uncanny X-Men issue 35. I feel like this series has been under the radar. No one really talks about it, even though I feel like it's gotten a lot better. This issue is really cool because we get to see the mutants that were, you know, in Cyclops' school want to be superheroes. They don't want to just be defined as the X-Men. They're tired of the X-Men. They're tired of them just fighting each other. They're like, we want to do something good with our lives. And they do. They end up becoming a hero team, and Goldballs actually becomes famous. But then it's revealed that he's a mutant, and everyone hates him. Even though he's doing the same exact things, because he's a mutant, he's hated on. He dies in this issue, and then, you know, the mutants realize, like, oh, wait, we don't really know what we're doing. I guess we should follow the X-Men. So it's just a really well done book, I thought. Great artwork, and just great themes of, you know, what we love about the X-Men, you know, people hating them, but still trying to do the right thing. And then, you know, seeing these new X-Men or new mutants realize for themselves what this world is like, and then still trying to do the right thing, still trying to be a hero, but then you see this hatred, and, you know, Goldballs, who's been a fan favorite in Uncanny X-Men, or, you know, been talked about in Uncanny X-Men, he dies because of it. There's a fatality because of it. And, you know, he's an expendable character, so I'm sure, you know, he won't come back. But, you know, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this issue a lot, and it's leading into this issue 600 that Bendis is working on, which I'm excited for. I want to see how he ends his run on the X-Men. So Uncanny X-Men issue 35 gets 4 stars, and it was a well-done issue. And that was number 4. Alright, so now we're moving on to number 3. Number 3 was Prez, issue 2. I really enjoyed this series. It's a mini-series, another one that not a lot of people are talking about. But I love the idea of how America can elect a teenage president, and how corrupt American government can be. You know, they literally voted for her. That way they have their own personal gain. And then once she's voted president, everyone wants to change their vote, because, like, no, I didn't want that. I just wanted my hamburger stand. I just wanted my private jet. But by the end she becomes president. She doesn't want to be president. She just wants to mourn her father, who dies in this issue. The only complaint I could really have is that the artwork is kind of hard to get used to, but you do get used to this stylized type artwork. The facial expressions are a little weird too. Like the added wrinkles, but I enjoyed this book a lot. Again, it just kind of shows the corruption of government and politics, and in this view of a teenager. And I love the ending too, where this former president says, you know, I kind of want to be your vice president, and he also says the reason that you're a threat is because you own nothing to anybody, and I'm gonna be your vice president. That way more people can hate me than they hate you. So yeah, just a really, really well done book about politics, about, I guess, a teenager maybe having more of an open eye than an adult, and maybe being able to help America more than, you know, a regular politician. So Prez issue 2 is just a really well done book, and I'm having a blast with it. So I give this 4.5 stars. I've been pleasantly surprised with the book. Alright, moving on to number 2, which is Grimm Fairy Tales, issue 112. This book was so well done. Pat Shan does it again. It's action-packed. People die in this issue, and people come together to try to defeat the, you know, someone who's trying to get Belinda, and try and make Belinda an assassin again, but she doesn't want to do it. And then one of my favorite parts is the water nymph. I can never, sorry, move my chair. The water nymph, I can never remember her name, but her and Aladdin have a really good relationship, and I liked how that's developed throughout the series, and then Aladdin being torn that, you know, she dies, but she ends up being a ghost. It's really interesting. So is she dead? Is she not dead? And you just see the next chapter of where Grimm Fairy Tales is going to go and where the team is at this point, and who to trust and who not to trust. So great action-packed issue with a lot of twists and turns, honestly, and it makes you just really enjoy these new characters, and it makes me want to learn more about this team and this school. So really well done. 4.5 stars, action-packed, great story, great twists and turns. That's number 2. Alright, so what was number 1? The book that I just had a lot of fun with, and that was Star-Lord and Kitty Pryde issue 1. As you know, I'm a huge Kitty Pryde fan, and I'm a huge Disney fan, so you open up the issue with Star-Lord singing Disney songs, you got me. And, you know, Star-Lord, he's grown a lot. He's not a womanizer anymore, and he just misses his fiancée, who he thinks is dead, and then sees his fiancée, but learns that it's a different version of her. And then they have their own motives, of course, Star-Lord loves Kitty and wants to try to convince her, it's like, oh, we knew each other in another life. And Kitty just wants to use Star-Lord because he's like, he's different. Because he is different. He's from the 616 and remembers stuff before Battle World. So it's going to be an interesting team up, or kind of verse up. I don't know, they might verse each other, but the only complaint I have is that there could have been a little bit more action. I wanted to see, you know, Kitty use those claws a bit more, but it's such a fun issue. Artwork is beautiful. Love the stylized type art. And I think it's a very stylish book. Even, like, look how suave Star-Lord looks over here. Really like that. But very well done issue. Fun, and it's everything you love about Star-Lord, everything you love about, I guess, Age of Apocalypse Kitty, thrown into one. So 4.5 stars. I had a really a blast with this issue. So hope you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Let me know in the comments below what was your worst pick of the week and pick of the week and everything in between. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there's links for my comic book, Like Father Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later.